Hi folks, my name's Joe Patterson. Thanks for stopping by my YouTube channel. I want to visit real quick with you in case you're somebody who wants to get to know me better, and we end up visiting on the phone, or I visit with a man from Colorado yesterday and spent some time on the phone and visiting about different things, and mostly about a man this particular person had been very impressed by, and being, supposed to be a man of the Lord. So I'm just going to kind of let you know some things on a public video here, because this conversation that we had and this thing has kind of brought this up. And I oftentimes have people that'll send me videos, and I will tell you, I almost watch every one of them that is sent to me. I can't tell you I watched them all the way through. There are times when I struggle early on and see some things that I completely disagree with. And I have learned, if you've taken offense, it's better to turn something off and then let the offense die down and watch it later and watch it a different day. I mean, I've done that plenty of times. But I will tell you some things that about me, and you may not agree with this, and I got to tell you, if you don't, that's fine. I'm not a religious man. I'm not going to push anything on you, but I am going to tell you where I'm at. If someone is not accessible, that means I can't get a hold of them. They're hard to reach. They're hard to get a hold of. You got to email them for a year, and they may finally, have a conversation with you on the phone. Maybe, maybe not. I got to tell you, I'm not interested at all. I don't care what they're saying. I don't care if they're raising the dead, making the blind see. I don't care. Okay, so if that's how they are, if they're so popular and they're so famous and they're so busy that you cannot, because I guarantee you, likely I'm going to have some questions, because it's rare to find someone who walks in full agreement, especially with the things that I'm believing. I've yet to find it, except for the brethren that we gather with. I love to find it. I will say, Brother Howard Pittman, I very much enjoyed him, and I believe that we walked in agreement. I did travel down to visit with him, and if you know Howard Pittman, I very much agreed with about everything I said. If he was for voting and for trying to get you to vote for the godliest politician, I would be in disagreement with that. So I haven't watched every single video he ever made, or every sermon he ever preached, or any of that, but I have seen a fair amount. And what I went down and visited with him about was that patriotic thing, and that voting and killing and all that kind of stuff, and we were in agreement. So he may have said some of those things earlier, but I found out that he's not at all trying to push. He's trying to get people to come unto the Lord. So all of that I had to say to cover the base there. I'm just simply saying, if they're not accessible, Howard Pittman was a very famous man, known all over the world, had many books he wrote, different things. He was a huge impact on a lot of people, though he was hated by many as well, because his message was very strong and very sharp, and it cut very deep. Either way, he was very accessible. Very accessible. You get online and you look to see the website to call, and he answered the phone. And we visited for some time, and he received me into his life. I went and visited with him. He was very accessible, very hospitable, a man full of love and humility. Beautiful. So if the person you want to show me, if you've tried to get a hold of them and they're not easy to access, you can't just call them, you can't just get their phone number and text and have them respond, I'm not interested. Okay, I don't care. Now, point number 2, and this is something I'm willing to say is currently would be more my opinion, but I'm basing my opinion off of a spiritual wisdom that God has given me. So when I say my opinion, it means I can't go to the Bible, the Holy Scriptures, and tell you where it's wrong. But I am going to say that it troubles me greatly when I'm watching someone's video and they are speaking about something that is very, very interesting to me, and I enter into a place with them, a connection, because I'm listening to the Holy Spirit, I believe, speaking through this person. Then bam, there's a commercial, and they're letting advertisement. Now, as far as I know, there is a permission on your YouTube that you grant YouTube to advertise, and so therefore there's sponsors on your YouTube channel, and many times people will get a paycheck of some kind from YouTube, and they start to earn an income. So if that's you, I'm not interested. I'm just not interested in anything that you have to say, because I don't believe anybody who is truly of the Spirit of the Lord and truly is for the souls of men and women would purposely allow interruption into their conversation that they're having. When I talk to you on this YouTube channel and the video I'm making, they're not edited. There's nothing fancy. I clear my throat a lot, and sometimes I cough, and there's bumps that I hit on the road, you know, all kinds of crazy stuff, but it's all raw. If you were sitting in my truck, we'd have the same conversation the same way. So there is no show with me at all. I will not allow, and likely unless the Lord does something different, I will likely never have enough subscribers to really qualify for any kind of income from YouTube. I would never allow commercials to quench the Spirit of the Lord. If it is me speaking, then if I'm talking about anything else, and maybe whatever else, which I don't, but if I did, that would be different. But I'm not. If I believe the Lord is using me and speaking through me to share with you what's helping me, why would I let anybody interrupt that? For any amount of money. No amount of money could possibly be worth to me letting someone interrupt the flow of the Holy Spirit. So if the person you're wanting me to look at allows commercials to come in on their deal, and every time you get to bid, I'm not interested. I'm just not. As long as it's their control. If it's not their control, if YouTube just does it without their permission, then I take that back and say, you know what, it's not under their control. But if it is under their control and they're allowing it for the sake of getting some kind of a paycheck, I'm not interested at all. None. So there's two main things right there. And so I'm not offended with anybody, by the way. I also want to caution people. You can talk too much about a person. People are just people. Men are just men. They may have great understanding and great wisdom, but it all comes from God, if indeed it is God. And if those people allow people to think too highly of them, and they become, what do you call it, famous people with fans. I think YouTube calls them fans. If you want to reach more fans, if you want to help your fans, I don't have any fans. And if you're no fans. I don't have any fans. I don't want anybody treating me any differently than they would their a friend. I'm not anything more than anyone else. The only difference may be is that I'm seeking the Lord maybe more than some people. And so that would be the difference. And the Lord then, because He is gracious and merciful to anyone who asks, He gives. To anyone who seeks, they find. To anyone who knocks, the door's open. Anyone. So if I do that and the door's open to me, and I find when I seek and I'm getting answers when I ask, then if you're not, then that's the only difference between us. I'm not better than you. I'm just simply doing what God says, and He's doing what He promised to me. So He'll do it to you too. So my goal is to always encourage people to be taught and led by the Holy Spirit. Most people are not. My goal is always to try to tell people never be lacking in zeal for your God that you claim as your King. Never be lacking in zeal. He should be the star of the show. If we have an hour and a half conversation on the phone, or 2 hours, or whatever it is, an hour, The star of the conversation should be Christ himself and the way of Christ, not somebody else. So anyway, these are things, I hope that you can hear these things. I pray that if you've called and talked to me, that you don't take offense, because I try to share with you the life that God has given. My life ain't my own. So when I share things with you, if you call and talk to me, there's some chance I may make a video because we've had some form of impact, excuse me, in our conversation, good or bad. Anyway, thanks for tuning in.